Trump to hit Venezuelan oil buyers with tariff, extends Chevron's wind down. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday issued an executive order declaring that any country buying oil or gas from Venezuela will pay a 25% tariff on trades with the U.S., while his administration extended a deadline for U.S. producer Chevron CBXN opens new tab to wind down operations in the South American country. Trump's new policy relieves some pressure on Chevron to quickly exit Venezuela after the U.S. Treasury Department on March 4 gave it 30 days to wind down operations. Trump had issued the initial wind down after he accused President Nicolas Maduro of not making progress on electoral reforms and migrant returns. Treasury said on Monday it would wait 7 more weeks until May 27 before terminating a license that the U.S. has granted to Chevron since 2022 to operate in sanctioned Venezuela and export its oil to the United States. Hours after Trump announced the new tariff, Chevron extended its contract, claiming that Venezuela had brought tens of thousands of people with a very violent nature to the United States. The two moves temporarily focused Trump's pressure on buyers of Venezuelan crude oil other than the United States, such as China, though it is uncertain how his administration will enforce the tariff. David Goldwyn, president of consultancy Goldwyn Global Strategies, said the moves allow a compromise between those in the Trump administration who were concerned about pushing Western companies out of Venezuela and those, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who were concerned about enriching Maduro's administration. This potentially provides a sweet spot for both of them, Goldwyn said. Using tariffs to punish foreign buyers of Venezuela's oil could have the same effect as the secondary sanctions Trump imposed on the country in 2020. During his first term as president, this would result in price reductions for the country's crude exports. The extension of Chevron's wind-down period would secure payments to the company for oil cargoes delivered to U.S. customers, while avoiding a collapse in crude volumes exported from Venezuela in coming weeks, especially to the U.S. According to analysts and sources, Trump, who has made illegal migration one of the top priorities of his administration, earlier this month invoked the 1798 Alien Enemies Act to justify the deportation of alleged members of Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Without final removal orders from immigration judges, Chevron said it had no comment. Venezuela's government said it firmly and categorically rejected the new aggression announced by Trump. This arbitrary, illegal, and desperate measure, far from weakening our resolve, confirms the resounding failure of all sanctions imposed against our country. The Venezuelan government said in a press release. Switch to Russian? The 25% tariff to be imposed on buyers of Venezuelan oil will take effect on April 2 and would be combined with any existing tariffs, according to the executive order. According to the order, the tariff will be lifted 1 year after the nation's last oil import from Venezuela. The tariff would apply to countries that buy Venezuela oil through third parties, the order said. Oil prices rose 1% on Trump's tariff announcement, although the gains were capped as the U.S. extended the wind-down period of the Chevron license. Oil is Venezuela's main export, and China, which is already the subject of U.S. tariffs, is the largest buyer. In February, China received directly and indirectly some 503,000 barrels per day of Venezuelan crude and fuel, some 55% of total exports. India, Spain, Italy and Cuba are other consumers of Venezuelan oil. Tariffs imposed by China on imports of certain types of Venezuelan oil in past years led to a decline in the volume of Venezuelan crude received by Chinese buyers, which ultimately forced state company PDVSA to widen price discounts to its most important market. Rubio this month said foreign buyers of Venezuelan oil would be notified of a policy change. But many joint venture partners of PDVSA continued taking cargoes. According to company documents, PDVSA is also readying a plan to reorganize operations at its largest joint venture with Chevron, the PetroPR project at the Orinoco Belt, and secure oil exports from there. Maduro has rejected U.S. sanctions, saying they are illegitimate. Measures that amount to an economic war, designed to cripple Venezuela. But he has cheered what his government says is the country's resilience despite the measures. Goldwyn said the new tariffs could have the ironic effect of increasing global demand for Russian oil. China and India are unlikely to risk additional tariffs to access Venezuelan heavy oil when they can buy Russian crude.